Our representatives of the Ministry of Education are here, and today we're also going to have the director of school who's active, who's proactive in the media literacy. I think so the communication will be very productive. And Mr. Vitaliy, I would like to invite you as a participant of a lot of international events, share your experience. Thank you so much. I'm Vitaliy Moroz. I work in public organization which is called Internews Ukraine, and for the past 2 years we started several projects on the access to the internet, and I would like to share several observations that I made and give you a message for you to ask critical questions concerning the internet. We are in America House premise today, and I'm sure that most of you feel comfortable. Your chairs feel comfortable, the light is good, the air conditioning system is working properly, and during listening to the speakers you have a very good sound. And on the internet is also the environment where we are and where we spend lots of hours. Sitting and listening to you, I have to say that I cannot live without internet for a very long time, because even when sitting here I had to check on my mail a little bit, because we're busy and we have to check on it time from time. And that environment, we do not have enough critical questions concerning that environment. So the culture of the internet has started 20 years ago, and the children who are the present children, they of course find it very interesting and important, because they're using these smartphones and notebooks and laptops. So ICANN organization, which is located in the USA, has, and you know that there are lots of countries who would like to take part of its obligations to govern the internet. So ICANN is the independent corporation, but it has the access to files that has about 200 kilobytes. Or this organization, you could say that it controls the global internet, and a lot of countries would like to also be part of it. And the government of the USA has the kind of influence on this organization. So if there is a conflict, the government can take measures on domain zones. I would like to give you a wider context concerning Ukraine. As I observed, very few people who understand what internet is about. We have lots of internet providers, and tomorrow when we have this big internet governance forum, you shall see that you'll have the generation of 40 plus, 40 and something, because I saw lots of representatives who worked with the internet governance, and those are very important people and specialists. I would like more youth to participate in it as well, because yes, internet is endless possibilities, and if you want to specialize in it, you can have a very good career in the sphere. So, like in journalism, SMM manager is more popular than a journalist. If you want to launch some online courses, we have launched 2 online courses last year, and I observed the amount of people who do the same thing, who do the online courses. You heard about blockchains and other new environments which grow in a very interesting kind of way, and I'm sure that all of us have very few knowledge on how this sphere functions. But we must remember we have all the conditions to develop, and not only the roads are built, but we also had 3G introduced, but of course when we travel the railway we do not have access to 3G because the mobile operators provide them only in big cities to cover 98% of the territory of Ukraine.
Не так більше людей, як проживає на 70% території України. І, відповідно, ми повинні також ставити дуже багато критичних питань стосовно
Many critical questions must be raised concerning the key actors, the stakeholders, and also internet providers. Internet providers today are those who provide us with the internet, and together with the public organizations fight the free internet in Ukraine. I'm sure Ukraine will soon have the question of network neutrality. And we will come to internet operators reduce the speed of access to some sites. So let's imagine there are two shops or two stores selling some kind of equipment, and we have different access to it. So if you cannot load the site fast, you will switch to another one. Internet neutrality is quite dim in our eyes today, because we have most of our problems, they have something to do with the government, and the incidents that we observed during 2 past years, they have something to do with the interaction of the government or of the state and the publicity. And I think that's because they don't know how to interact. And all those actions taken by the law enforcement bodies, they don't take into account how the internet really functions. So, and these structures, they often have these claims for operators or companies who have servers or hosters. They come and take servers, but the question is whether or not they have the ground to do that. But can they take the servers for a month or 2 months? Who controls that? And our state doesn't have these specialists who could monitor what those servers, what kind of information is on the servers. The question of internet regulation, blocking of Russian networks. Today, there is draft law on the safety in Verkhovna Rada today, and this project is a bit dangerous because we have to follow this, but we do not have public support today because we don't know about this technical data of internet regulation. I don't think everyone must be engaged into it, but I want to believe Ukrainian government realizes that internet is the global phenomenon, that you cannot completely control it, and the more you try to block it, the more oppression you'll see in the eyes of the civil society, of the publicity. And we have to use positive examples and practical examples of how to use internet, because we have to understand that we have access to the data. Thanks to the internet, we can see the way tenders function, and also the lists of electors also is going to be accessible. And I think that what we have to do is to work on the principles of openness and transparency on the internet. And internet, it's a positive phenomenon as it can be used only for positive aims, and I hope it's not going to be used against the citizens of Ukraine by the authorities. And we're going to observe other countries work with it. Thank you so much, Vitaliy. I cannot help but agree that the USA have control on governance of internet, because ICANN plays an important role in provision of work of the internet, and the USA government in 2016 did not support the contract with ICANN. So we could say that it's the world notary that keeps all the database of contacts on the internet. So the ICANN is not a manager, but it's the provider of work, and you should not, you cannot underappreciate it. It's the lab for multi-stakeholderism. In autumn 2016, the management of this corporation was given to multi-stakeholderism structure, the new one. I hope we have Alexandra Kulikova from ICANN today, and if you have questions, she will give more details on the topic.